Hello everybody, welcome to the next episode of Nell and Friends. Today I am talking to Kirsten Dalton from the Professional Financial Centre. I was going to say finance. She will tell you all a little bit more about herself and the business, so we'll instantly jump into that and say hello Kirsten, welcome.
Good morning, Nell.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
So let's start us off with a quick introduction, please. Tell us a little bit more about you and the business.
Yeah, I'm Kirsten Dalton. I'm the Managing Director of Professional Financial Centre in Wokingham. In my dim and distant past, I was a private client solicitor, so dealing with wills and probate, etc. I set up the business end of 2001, so we've been going quite a long time.
Oh well.
And it's myself and my business partner, and we have a couple of administrators, so it's a small business. We offer financial planning mainly for individuals. So it's helping them look at where they are now, where would they like to be, and can they afford to do what they like to do with their lives. And we, as part of that process, we also review and advise in relation to their any pension, savings, investments, that side of things. So we're not traditional financial advisors just selling products. We do it as part of a whole life planning system. And the other area where I work quite a lot, and I think it's probably due to my background, is helping older clients and their families, certainly as far as paying for care is concerned, issues that affect vulnerable clients, things like releasing equity from property, and sort of inheritance tax, so helping the whole family at that difficult time. So I'm one of only about 400 advisors in the country that have got a specialist accreditation, advanced accreditation in this field. So it's something I feel really passionate about, that people need to get advice at such a difficult time.
And I would imagine that over the next couple of years, that's only going to become more and more relevant, because there is so much conflicting things out there that will make it really confusing for people as to what they can do, how they need to plan, etc.
Yeah. I think there's very little at the moment people can do to plan. I think there's as a result of this COVID thing, I think what we may well see is the two systems, the NHS bit and the bit that's done by the local authority, the social care bit. I think they're going to have to merge it into one big organisation, or one big department, because you can see how disjointed it's been with people moving patients out of NHS into social care, not being tested, etc. We all know what's happened, but it just needs a radical overhaul.
Okay. Oh, I kind of already.
Now.
To be honest, it was a question that I was going to ask later on, so you've already answered that one. Yeah. So that's absolutely fair enough. So talk me through, from your perspective, at what point did you realise that commercially something was going to become a bit of an issue, that there was something going on that was going to have a massive impact on our economy?
The thing with COVID, I think I was out of the country for a month because we had the holiday of a lifetime to Australia.
Yeah.
And while we were in Australia, things were obviously beginning to bubble up, and certainly the stock markets just went plunging just when we were out there. I had a couple of client emails and conversations, etc., when I was away. But it's only when we sort of came back, and we had a few days we had to, because we'd been to Singapore, we had to lock down effectively anyway for a week, and it went straight into lockdown, and so I haven't really had a proper working day in the office since middle of February.
It's quite scary, really, isn't it, when you think about that? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But
so, was it easy for you guys to adapt to working from home and taking your client calls from home?
Yeah, very easy. All of our back office is web-based. Back office systems fine. and all our documentation is. So it was just the practical thing about, you know, getting the post sorted out, and that was just a redirection to my home.
Yeah.
You know, making sure that our assistant has got you know, technology, etc. So it's all worked out really well. You know, so we haven't actually been impacted. The first video call I did was with a 91-year-old, bless him, and
I love
it
that.
went really well. And he said at the end, he goes, "I wish I could shake your hand."
Oh,
You know, and so that's been a change, and
yeah.
but overall, it's worked pretty well.
Because you normally go and see because a lot of your clients are elderly, you often go and see them. So
Yeah.
have they found it difficult to adjust, or has it actually been surprisingly easy?
I think they've found it difficult. They quite like the sort of social thing about coming into the office, or else me going to see them. I often have, you know, there's often, you know, tea already out and cake and biscuits and things, because it's an event. You know, they've got somebody coming around to see them. So yeah, it's been difficult for some of them. I think trying to keep in contact with people on the phone and also involving their families. So quite often the family has been able to do a call with them, or tell them how to use the technology, you know, to talk them through. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think I've sort of missed going out to see people as well. It's not quite the same.
It's not. No, I agree. How have the team, and I, you know, I know it's only, well, not only, but you and Jeremy, but then also the small, how have you all adapted to working from home? Has it been okay? Do you find it easier, harder?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I think I underestimated how long this would go on. I thought it'd be about 6 weeks.
Okay.
So initially, well, my office desk was in the study with my husband's. Now he works from home all the time.
Right.
So he's, you know, this is just his way of life anyway. But it's clear that, you know, he does a lot of calls, international calls, so we couldn't be in the same room. I temporarily sort of stuck on the dining room table, but now I've actually reconfigured the dining room, so I've got a big office desk, and so I've actually got a proper workstation which feels like an office, like, rather than somewhere temporary. So that's really helped me physically, but also psychologically, to think I'm going to work. This is a work station, if you like.
Yeah.
Kath, she's got family, and so she's always got distractions and things like that. She said the other day she was trying to do something, and there was someone practicing the drums, someone practicing the piano and things like that. So that was a bit more challenging. But we've left her I've just said to her, look, work completely flexibly. So when you can. Nice. Jeremy, I think he's loving it.
That surprises me. Yeah. Well, actually, does it?
He obviously he's decided that you know, because his wife has got a compromised immune system, that she would be really badly affected if she picked. So he said right at the outset he's envisaged she'll stay at home for the rest of the year.
Okay.
And a lot of his clients are sort of retirement age, so, you know, they're a bit more au fait with technology, and that sort of thing. So yes, and every time I speak to him, he just says, "Oh, I'm just trucking along." But,
okay. How often are you guys speaking? So how do you keep each other motivated? Because normally your office is quite a fun kind of office to be around. You guys are, you know, there's always a lot of laughter around.
We catch up on Teams, but it has to be. I'm the one who organises that.
Of course.
I think Jeremy wouldn't think about it.
No.
I don't think he would think about, you know, what everybody else is feeling. But I had said to him the other day, the thing that I actually miss is that banter. You say, you know how the dynamic works, and it's that plus also just sort of bouncing questions off each other.
Yeah,
it's very easy to do that, you know, when you're in an office. Less so when you're sort of, okay, I've got to, you know, do a message on Teams, and hopefully he's not blocked himself off because he's busy doing something.
Okay, fair enough. What's been the biggest obstacles for you guys through this?
I don't think there's anything major. We're in a really fortunate position in that, you know, it has the type of work we do, we can do remotely, and we have structured the business in such a way that we get a recurring income from our clients on a month-by-month basis. So we haven't had cash flow issues, which I'm really so grateful for, because it's taken the pressure off. I think at the beginning I was thinking, you know, what is this going to be like? Are we going to get new clients? It's very well, we're very lucky. We service our existing clients, and we're doing reviews and that sort of thing for existing clients. So, but it's the question of what happens. You know, how do we get new clients? And at first it was quieter. It went through a sort of lull. Okay. But then the last few weeks, I've just got some really good new clients. You know, big, you know, wealthy clients who you really want to work with us.
Nice.
So I'm really, really busy with new stuff now. And the other thing that's happened, I suppose, is, you know, equity release is something that people are doing more and more of.
Okay.
But it also almost sort of ground to a halt in some respects, because people couldn't go out and do valuations of property.
Of course.
So unless your property was something that could be easily valued on a desktop valuation, you're stuck. So that's all been unblocked in the last week or so. So
right.
So yeah, busy.
So I was going to say, so that's your next thing that you'll be busy with, because people are trying to catch up with that side of things.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But also say new clients who whether they not been happy with their existing advisor, or they're thinking about you know, have more time now to think about their future and their finance. I think it's helped people sort of make people focus on what they want to do with their lives.
Yes, definitely. Now, you've not had to invent any new products or services, have you? You've just been able to continue through.
Yeah. We've just
marketing and selling what you have currently got available.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any adjustments that have happened because of this that you kind of look at now and go, actually, we'll keep this?
I think partly the remote meetings, and possibly not working from home part of the week.
Okay.
You know, I don't need to be in the office every day now. I've got the setup at home that's a permanent setup.
Yep.
Quite easy for me to be at home.
Okay.
And you know, saves a bit of, you know, I'm saving an hour and a half a day on not commuting to the office.
Yeah. Although it has to be said, for any new clients that might consider using you guys, your office is pretty epic.
Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful setting. So it's
setting, and it's for 3 people. It's pretty big.
Yes.
So, you know, going back into the office, social distancing won't be a problem at all.
No, won't be a problem. That's true.
We could even go in separate doors, separate entrances.
You could, yes, that's true. Actually, I was going to say, apart from Kath, maybe by the front door, but you're right. There's a separate door at the back.
Yeah.
Anything that you'll stop doing? So anything that you go, actually, once we can or we're allowed again, this is something that we'll go back to doing as we used to?
I can't think of anything that's, you know, that would certainly stop. I think we'll reevaluate what, you know, how we spend our time. But yeah, I don't think there's anything that will stop doing.
Okay. What you're looking forward to the most doing again? Obviously, when safely allowed to do so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to see some of my older clients.
Okay.
And actually sort of getting out and, you know, going and seeing and having a cup of tea, because they've all had to isolate completely.
Yeah.
We've all got clients who are in their 80s and some of them are in their 90s, and you know, they haven't been out of the house for months.
Yeah.
So,
and they're people that you see on a fairly regular basis, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
I can imagine that must be quite nice to go back.
Yeah.
And hear their stories as well of how they've experienced it. That will be quite intriguing to get that coming out of it. And what's the key thing you've learned about yourself in all this?
I didn't think I would adapt well to sort of necessarily working from home and doing this, this way of working. But actually, I'm enjoying it. I'm actually having you have the odd day when you're sort of a bit lower, but everybody's done that, I'm sure. But yeah, it's nice. I've got a little routine. I actually spend more time with my husband. We have a stop at 11 o'clock for a cup of coffee together. And we have lunch together, and it's got into this is the way I work. So yeah.
Nice. Is that something you definitely want to keep?
What, spending more time with my husband?
Yeah. Or are you kind of going, actually, I'm quite looking forward to maybe don't answer that question.
Yeah. No.
We have plausible deniability.
Yeah. Well, I think at least one day a week I'll be at home.
Okay.
And probably not full days for the rest of the time as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think Kath and I will sort of split time. We don't expect Jeremy to come back. He said he won't come back until his wife feels it's safe to do so, for him to do so. So whenever that will be, I don't know.
Yeah. But at least you know that the systems are in place for you guys to do this.
Yeah.
So it helps. It doesn't impact the business, but it helps him with life.
We've been web-based. All our stuff has been web-based. We've scanned everything that comes to come in for several years. So, and it helps that our IT department is in the study next door, because it's my other half. So
correct.
We're pretty clued up as far as
we
had a spare laptop. We had we're already on Teams, so we could sort of get that. So yeah, it's helpful when you've got somebody who works for Microsoft in the house.
Correct. Insider information. I'll ask the question anyway, but I think I know the answer, but I'll ask the question anyway. In what way has this lockdown period impacted your 2020 plans for the business?
It has impacted, I think, short-term new business cash flow.
Okay.
I think it's just sort of it was just a pause, but from what's happened the last few weeks, I'm really positive about the next 6 months.
Okay.
We had a really, really good year last year, our best year ever, and we're not at that level, but I'm not surprised because, I was away for a month and then we've gone straight into this. So, but, I'm really positive about the next 6 months. We're only halfway through the year.
Yeah, correct. There's still 6 months to go. We can still do this.
So we might not have to reach the same target as we'd set at the beginning of the year, but I think, I'm pretty confident about where we'll be.
Okay.
And we are so lucky compared to a lot of other businesses that we have the regular monthly cash flow. We haven't had to think about furlough. We haven't had to think about any government support. That's been a sort of, I can't imagine what it's like if you have to go through all of those issues as well.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely been challenging for a lot of people, for sure. But it's also nice to know that there are certain businesses or certain industries that have been less impacted. And I had an interview last week with one of my clients who's massively grown through this because he's in an industry where it's just boomed.
Yeah, it depends on the business, but it also depends on how we've spent years building up. We are in this position, making sure we do have the regular income, so we're not reliant on new clients all the time.
Yes.
It's nice to get new clients, and we like new clients. But it's not like we have to sell. It's more looking after what we've got to preserve that recurring income that we get. Yeah,
great ethos as well. What kind of things do you see happening for your industry over the next sort of 6 to 12 months?
It's difficult to say. I think there'll be more. There's more focus on helping people plan, cash flow modelling and that sort of thing has only really come to the fore in the last sort of 3 or 4 years. And I think the whole talking to people and understanding what they want to do with their lives, the whole sort of financial well-being and financial coaching is going to be a bigger part of the industry going forward.
Okay. Do you think that that's something that people actually, no, I'm going to ask a different question. How and where do people find the right information? So I guess what my question is, I can imagine a lot of people are sitting there right now and they kind of go, oh my gosh, this has happened. We need to do something about our finances. Well, what kind of questions would they need to ask to end up with the right person for them?
A lot of it's down to personality.
Okay.
It's actually finding, because you're going to be talking to people about it's not about money, it's about getting a relationship with someone you can talk to about what you really want to do with your life. And it might be some really sensitive stuff, or it might be a lot of stuff about what's happened to you in the past, and what has made you behave in a certain way about money, various biases, that sort of thing. So you're finding out an awful lot about an individual, so you've got to feel that you can trust them.
Okay.
And have that relationship with them, that you can actually talk about that. So it's a lot of it's, yes, you can ask about technical qualifications, whether that advisor's got chartered status, whether what their experience is, how they charge, obviously, but a lot of it is about personality and credibility. So I would, if I was looking for a financial advisor or financial planner, I would talk to several of them and see who you feel comfortable with.
Perfect. Love that one. And actually that leads me on to my last question. What's the sort of one thing or the two things that you recommend people doing right now that would benefit them from a financial planning perspective?
I think look at really probably just talk to each other, talk to the family about really what they want to do. Okay. Because people just go through life and it's sort of, I've got to work till 65. Well, what if you don't? What if you can go and do, but talk to each other, because a lot of people just, don't talk to the family and don't talk to others about money. So think about that. But then on a practical basis, look at, what do you do? What do you spend your money on? Is it doing this the right thing for you? So are you wasting money on having a coffee every day from Costa when you could be doing something? The impact of doing something that way somewhere else, it could be huge. And when we're working with clients, we get them to do a financial planning questionnaire and put their expenses down. And when it's sort of modelled, we say, well, actually, you've got, you should have an extra £300 a month. And they say, well, we don't. Well, obviously your expenses are wrong because your income's staying the same. But it's just helping people focus on, what do they want to do? What's their lifestyle now? And, looking at that, we put, and helping people sort of really see where they are.
I think actually that's an interesting one, because I've seen that across some of my friends and the conversations I've had with family throughout all of this, is because we've not been anywhere. It's kind of made people reassess a little bit what we normally would spend money on, that you now go, actually, do we really have to?
Yeah. Well, yesterday we're looking through the credit card bill, and usually it's got lots of business expenses and that sort of thing, mainly for the other half, because he used to travel quite a bit, used to go to America quite a lot. And now it's just Sainsbury's, Amazon, Waitrose, Costco, Sainsbury's, Amazon, Waitrose, Costco. That's pretty much
it's the only place we've been. But it's exactly that. And I think a lot of people are reassessing, actually, what are we spending money on? Do we need to spend this money on so many silly things, for a bit of description, and what else can we do with that kind of money that's just sitting around? So definitely a good time to speak to people like yourself and Jeremy to go, actually, what could we do different going forward that will benefit us? Perfect. So the time is now, is what we're saying from that, Kirsten.
Absolutely.
Time is now.
You've got
Wonderful.
you've got time to actually sit down and look at it.
Yes.
And time with your family to talk about it. So
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time and for your insight. It's great understanding what you guys do, but also what difference you can make to a family, and the fact that the time is now that they could really benefit from having those conversations with you and or Jeremy at this stage to see what difference that could make going forward in their lives as well.
No problem.
Wonderful. Thanks very much. Say hi to Jeremy. As always, at some stage we might do an interview with him, but I'm not sure whether the world is ready for that just yet. Thanks very much for your time, Kirsten, and keep going as you guys are, because you guys are amazing.
Right. Thanks, Nell. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.